Good evening, I'm Alex Roy. Some Indiana House Democrats say they want to be satisfied. Some Republican legislation is not unconstitutional before they return to the State House from Illinois. WTIU's Dan Goldblatt reports.
Bloomington Representative Matt Pierce worries a bill authorizing school vouchers could violate the state's constitution or cause financial hurdles for parents.
The constitutional issue is kind of up in the air. It might be if you give the money directly to the parents, that maybe that will satisfy the state constitution's prohibition against state money going directly to religious institutions. On the other hand, you might create another problem, because I think that if that money goes directly to the parents, the federal Internal Revenue Service might count that as income.
But Columbus Republican Milo Smith does not see the funding of private schools through state funding as unconstitutional.
If you look at our Constitution, I just read it again last week, there's no such thing as public school in the Constitution. It's a common school. Common school is defined as a religious school as well.
Pierce sees the voucher program as one of the biggest stumbling blocks to the Democrats' return.
The biggest, most problematic education bill, and there are a lot of them out there, but the voucher bill. This proposal to take taxpayer money that would normally go to a public school, take it away from a public school, and give it to a private school or a religious school.
Smith, though, feels the money should follow the child.
If I decide to put my kids in a private school or faith-based school, that ought to be my choice, and some of the money that I pay in property tax or in taxes in general ought to flow to that.
According to Minority Leader Pat Bauer, the Republican legislation would take $80 million away from public schools the first year and $160 million the second year. Democrats say they want concessions on a package of several bills before returning to the House floor. For WTIU News, I'm Dan Goldblatt.
And Bloomington Mayor Mark Kruzan was the minority whip when Democrats halted work in the House in 1995. Then, former Indiana Supreme Court Chief Justice Richard Given was called in to act as a mediator between the two sides and succeeded in restarting discussions after a two-week stalemate. Kruzan Wednesday suggested former Lieutenant Governor John Mutz and former Governor Joe Kernan as possible negotiators. Looking ahead to your weather forecast tonight, mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of thunderstorms, lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of thunderstorms, highs in the mid-60s. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of rain and thunderstorms, lows in the mid-40s. And for more on these stories and other local news, go to indianapublicmedia.org.